Today is a very auspicious day, disappearance day of Srila Svarup Damodar Gosvami and Ratha yatra in Puri. We sang now in this song, Je anilo prema dhon koruna prachur henu prabhu kota gela achar jotakur. Kaha mor Svarup? Where is my Svarup? Svarup Damodar Goswami. Kaha mor Svarup Rup Kaha Sanat? Where is Sanatan? And Raghunath Das, they are all rescuers of the fallen souls. They have pure love for Krishna and they appear in this world to rescue us fallen souls. And also same pastime Jagannath is doing today. To rescue all fallen souls, he goes out. That is one reason, general, but another reason is there, we will later hear. So, Svarup Damodar Goswami's, I also saw in some calendars they say Shivananda Prabhu's disappearance. I checked in our calendar, it was not there. Also, I checked in this book, and Gurudev told for Shivananda, we don't know when is his appearance or disappearance. So I don't know from where they got this titi. Of course, there is no harm. It is always good to remember Vaishnavas. Shivananda Prabhu is a personal associate to Mahaprabhu, very dear household devotee. And Svarup Damodar Gurudev wrote, it is long biography, so just summary. He is our Guru in our Guru Parampara. We are daily saying in Jayadvani and also in that Guru Parampara song, he is there. So there were 3.5 most intimate personal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raya Ramananda, Svarup Damodar, Shiki Mahiti, and Madhavi Devi, half. And why? Because they were all in Madhur Ras, in the service of Radharani. In Gaur Ganodesh Deepika, Svarup Damodar is identified as Bishaka, but in our line, it is prominently known that he is Lalita Saki. So here Gurudev said in both cases, he had special affinity for the Madhuras in the mood of a Saki of Radha. And then here it is explained that Svarup Damodar served the Lord in the primary sentiment, that of the transcendental conjugal love. In the last 12 years of his pastimes, Mahaprabhu, in Puri, the Lord remained constantly absorbed in the mood of Radharani. During this time, Mahaprabhu relished the most confidential mellows of divine love in the company of his two intimate associates, Svarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai. We were hearing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And also, Svarup Damodar is so close that he knows everything about Mahaprabhu. So he revealed those verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita about the confidential reasons of the appearance of Mahaprabhu, to taste Radharani's love, those 3 reasons. It was revealed by Svarup Damodar. And then Raghunath Das Goswami explained, and Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami he heard. He wrote some notes about Mahaprabhu's later pastimes, Svarup Damodar, and Raghunath Das Goswami memorized that. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami heard, and the essence of those notes is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Svarup Damodar was the best kirtaniya. Mahaprabhu liked to hear from him, and immediately when he would sing, Mahaprabhu would immediately start to dance and encourage him to sing more. He was greatest singer, and also he was he was like a Gandharva. He was as expert as a musician as the Gandharvas, and in the knowledge of the scripture, he was just like Brihaspati, very learned. No personality was his equal. Sri Svarup Damodar was also very dear to Sri Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, and he was the life and soul of Srivas Thakur and other devotees. When Mahaprabhu was in separation grief, he would catch the neck of them both or shoulders, and he would say, "Where can I find Krishna? What I should do?" This he would explain to them and asking them what I should do. They were so intimate with him. And when Mahaprabhu was in some ecstasy, then Svarup Damodar would sing appropriate songs. According to the mood of Mahaprabhu, we heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Raya Ramananda would give some verse from Bhagavatam or some, but Svarup Damodar would sing appropriate kirtan from Karnamrita, Gita Govinda, or Vidyapati, poet, those. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat also, Vrindavan Das Thakur describes how the Lord would lose external consciousness when hearing Svarup Damodar's kirtan. Gadadhar Pandit would read Bhagavatam and Mahaprabhu would become ecstatic to hear about Dhruva and Prahlad Charit. And in the same way, he would become ecstatic as when Svarup Damodar Goswami sang, and all ecstatical symptoms appeared. Svarup Damodar, before he was named as Purushottamacharya, he came from Bangladesh, but he came to live in Navadip, and from beginning of Mahaprabhu's pastimes he was there, Purushottamacharya. Then when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he also could not remain in Navadip and was feeling such separation grief from Mahaprabhu that he also went to Benares and enrolled himself in that process to take sannyas very quickly so that he could also remain with Mahaprabhu in Puri. But he was so eager to meet Mahaprabhu quickly that he did not even finish that process. Because first you have to be brahmachari for some time and do all those shrad and so many things. Then ultimately you can get sannyas in Mayavad, that system, because that time that was more prominent and respectful. So Mahaprabhu made this trick to outwardly receive respect so that he could rescue them. So Svarup Damodar also, but he did not wait till the end of all those ceremonies. So he still kept this brahmachari name, Svarup Damodar. If he would wait for sannyas, then he would become some tirtha. It is explained. His only purpose was that he can remain with Mahaprabhu. That was his purpose, not other formalities and this. Even his guru was a Mayavadi, sannyas guru, and he told him to study Vedanta and teach to others, but he did not. He only took his permission and said, I will go to Puri, and there he was with Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu went to South India after Puri, then when he came back, then also Svarup Damodar came there and met him, and he said this verse. It is very famous. Srila Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj is singing this in his Mangalacharana, and once in Vienna, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj was also saying this verse, and then he told to Sridhar Maharaj to explain it. So this was when he bowed down, Svarup Damodar, when he bowed down to Mahaprabhu, seeing him after he took sannyas, he said, Helo dhulita khedaya bishadaya pron milat amo Doya Shamya Chastra Vivadaya Rasa Doya Chitar Piton Madaya Shashvat Bhakti Binodaya Samadaya Madhurya Marjadaya Sri Chaitanya Doyani Detava Doya Bhuyat Amando Doya. O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, may your unrestrained and auspicious mercy fall upon us, driving away all kinds of material lamentation easily, making everything pure, and awakening transcendental bliss, encasing all material pleasures, ending all quarrels and disagreements among different scriptures, pouring transcendental mellows and maddening the minds, stimulating the joy of devotional service constantly, and revealing the extent of the conjugal mood's sweetness. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Mahaprabhu embraced him. In this way he received his mercy, and then he also bowed down to all other associates there, Nityananda Prabhu, Paramananda Puri, Jagadananda. And later he also met Raya Ramananda when Raya Ramananda came from South India to remain with Mahaprabhu. And he was friend with Pundarik Vidyanidhi in Puri, you know, when Pundarik Vidyanidhi was doubting why Sevaks of Jagannath, they are giving that starch cloth, why they are not washing. Then Svarup Damodar said, because Jagannath is Supreme Lord. There are no rules for him. Then Pundarik said, yes, that is okay. He is Supreme Lord, he is Parabrahma. But they are not Brahma. Here you will, I told to them that time to correct this mistake, but somehow it did not. They are not, it is written in book, they are not Brahmana. But the point is, here it's Brahman or Brahma, means Supreme Lord, not Brahmanas like Vaishya, Shudra or Brahmanas, no. It meant that they are not Supreme Lord, Parabrahma. So they should know what is pure and what is impure. Even if you touch that cloth, you have to wash your hands. Why they are giving? Then in the night, Jagannath and Baladev came and they slapped him. And you are speaking about my sevaks. I am inspiring them to do like this. So his cheeks were swollen, and Svarup Damodar, when seeing next day, he was very happy to see how his friend received that mercy. It was unprecedented, never heard of before, that such chastisement one can get in a dream. So Svarup Damodar was very happy, and Svarup Damodar was participating in all pastimes in Puri, in Gundicha cleaning, water sports in Indradyumna Sarovar, Narendra Sarovar, and all festivals. And then Ratha Yatra also came. Today is Ratha Yatra. And also yesterday we heard in Gundicha cleaning when that Gauriya Vaishnava, means from Bengal, he came and he poured water on Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and drank. So here Gurudev explained there is no, in view of Mahaprabhu's identity as Supreme Lord himself, it was certainly no offense to drink the water that had washed his feet, even though it was done inside the temple. But here Mahaprabhu acted as an exemplar for the world and showed dissatisfaction at Brahmana's behavior, so that no other person would imitate him and become an offender at the deity's feet. But it was written, Mahaprabhu was happy with him inside, from his own angle of vision, but to teach us that in front of deity or in that room, one should not accept any kind of worship, respect, or like this. And one should not do for others also. To do this in deities, that temple, to serve someone else in that place, that is seva aparat. So Ratha Yatra, Baladev is coming first because he is Guru, Baladev. He is Bhagavan, but acting as Guru. So first we need to take shelter of Guru. Then Subhadra will come. Subhadra is devotion, pure devotion. Then one can get Jagannath. Jagannath will come third one, and Sudarshan also will come. Sudarshan is not different from Jagannath, his servant, as Chakra, but here he is in a person form, Sudarshan. So in Ratha Yatra, Mahaprabhu, it was unprecedented before him. Before, the conception was, even still now, those who are not Gauriya Vaishnavas, they accept Ratha Yatra as that excursion of Jagannath to go to Gundicha, because that Gundicha requested, wife of Indradyumna, and to rescue the low-class caste people, those who are unable to enter into Jagannath temple. So once in a year, Jagannath gives darshan to all and opportunity to offer him any kind of offering food to all. So to rescue the fallen souls, he's coming out. This is general understanding. But Mahaprabhu, he made kirtan. He made 7 groups. And in Svarup Damodar was the principal singer, main singer in the first group. Advaita Acharya was the principal dancer in that group. And there were 7 groups. And Mahaprabhu demonstrated his divine powers. He was simultaneously present, dancing in all the groups. But at the same time, all thought he's only in our group, not in others. But Prataparudra king, he saw Mahaprabhu is everywhere. So he got such vision, and they had such vision. Sometimes in this world, we see some fanaticism. We are the only one bona fide, everyone else is bogus. That is due to some anartha and desire for name and fame, if it is that material. But also on transcendental platform, they can have such mood, like a charge Obiman, like this. For the sake of his disciples, he has to act like that to help them. And here also, everyone thought he's only with us, not with others. But this is transcendental emotion. It is not anartha. And then, when Mahaprabhu wished to dance madly, he would have the 7 groups come together and would dance in their midst, appointing 9 singers and making Svarup Damodar the principal singer. As the devotees became progressively intoxicated by the kirtan, Mahaprabhu danced frenziedly for many moments. After this, Mahaprabhu's mood changed. Svarup Damodar was able to understand the Lord's intention and began to sing. I have finally found my life's Lord, for whom I had so long burnt in the flames of desires. So this is Mahaprabhu's vision, which we are now hearing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, as the Lord's frenzy at dancing came to an end, he became absorbed in the mood of Radharani at Kurukshetra. This song about meeting the beloved after a long separation manifested naturally. You know, when Krishna was in Dwaraka, leaving Vrindavan, then there was some auspicious moment came to make a yagya there at Kurukshetra. So all they went, and Krishna said to Narad Goswami, in short I'm telling, you should invite everyone, all three worlds, except Brajavasis. Then Narad was disturbed. Why not them? They are having so much love for you and they're feeling separation, they are dying, not getting you. Why they should not be invited? Then Krishna said, because you don't need to invite your own persons. That is for outside persons. Own person, like son, he can at any time come to his parents. And parents, they can at any time come to their grown-up children. There is no need of invitation or permission or something. Their own persons. So he said, and he said another thing is there, because if they will come, then all this yagya and all this karma kant, all this will be disturbed. Everything will be destroyed. But no one understood why. So Brajabasis, when they came to know Krishna will be there and Kurukshetra is not so far, so they thought, let us go to meet Krishna. Gopis and Sakas, they were very eager, and Nanda Maharaj and Jashoda, they were thinking, but if we will not, now he's a king and like this, and maybe he forgot us, and if we will not see him, then we will die like this. We think he forgot us already. Then all the gopis and sakas and all they said, no, we have to go. And it is sure children can never forget their parents. And he will come to bow down to you. So you are our only hope. Because of you, we can also get darshan. If you will be there, then we can get darshan. So let us go. So they agreed. And when they came there were 4 gates in that arena for yagya. And there were gatekeepers, guards. And when the Brajavasis came, they wanted to enter, then they asked for the ticket, invitation card. Otherwise, you were not allowed to enter there. But Brajavasis were the only one who did not have this invitation card, and they did not know it is required. So they became disappointed and then went to another gate. In all 4 gates, same thing happened. They would not allow them inside, and they would tell, we are the parents of Krishna, and they did not believe, no, the Vasudeva and Devaki, they are here. And also he's our king, you look like a peasant, how you can claim you are his parents? So they were not allowed. Then Jashoda was thinking to die. Then in separation grief, she called Gopal, Gopal in relation. In relation, she was chanting, then Krishna could not remain inside. And he also became small boy, and he threw off all his clothes and ran out and ran into the lap of Jashoda. Once Srila Bharati Gosai Maharaj, he explained to me, this is the power of Harinam, Nama Sankirtan. Nothing is as powerful. Here it was shown all yagya and all mantras and all those things. Krishna left and he was running to Jashoda. If someone is calling Krishna by his name in that relationship, then that is most powerful. That is why Harinam is the topmost devotion to Supreme Lord, to call him. So Jashoda was calling him, and Krishna came, and they met, and also Sakas and also Gopis in some separate place they met. Then everything was disturbed there in Yagya. Then Krishna immediately called for one chariot so that he will go back to Dwaraka, because everything was destroyed. Everything was disturbed, but Gopis, they would not allow. No. And they would pull that chariot towards Brindavan. No. Brindavan cholo, hey Gopinath. You have to go to Brindavan, not there. And Radharani, now we will hear, Mahaprabhu was saying some verse which is not actually, it is from some mundane lovers, but it expressed the same meaning, that we are same persons meeting after a long time, but still I yearn for that place when we were young, that place, I want to meet in that place. So Mahaprabhu was saying this verse in front of Jagannath, in the mood of Radharani, but no one could understand except Svarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami. Svarup Damodar understood, but he did not broadcast. But Rupa Goswami, when he came back to his hut, Bhajan Kutir, near Haridas Thakur, he wrote on a palm leaf this verse which expresses this. Priyah soyam Krishna sahachari kurukshetra militas tataham sarada tadidam ubayo sangama sukham tathapi antah kelan madura murali panchamajushe manome kalindi pulina vipanaya sprihate. Rupa Goswami wrote, O companion, O Saki, this is my beloved Krishna meeting me here in Kurukshetra, and I am the same Radha, and both of us are feeling the joy of union. Even so, my mind wishes for the forest by the banks of the Jamuna, where the fifth note of his flute reverberates sweetly within my heart. So that Vrindavan paraphernalia must be there also, that mood, not that kingly and all this. So the gopis, they were pulling that chariot, not allowing to go to Dwarka, but pulling towards Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu was in the mood of Radharani, and he saw Jagannath is coming from opulent temple, that is Dwaraka mood. He was pulling Jagannath to come to Vrindavan in Gundicha Mandir. Lakshmi cannot go there. That is why Jagannath went alone, not with Lakshmi. She has no adhikar to enter there. So Mahaprabhu was pulling, and sometimes he would go in front of Rath, chariot, and Jagannath would move. Sometimes he would go behind, and Jagannath would not move. Even they tried with elephants and with everything, but they could not move. Because Jagannath was moving according to Mahaprabhu's control, means he was under the control of Radharani Bhav. So this is the vision how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw and how he revealed to his own followers. So we are following Ratha Yatra in this way. To bring Krishna to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu also spoke many verses there. Naham Vipra, Naham Nyasi, that verse. I am not Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprast, Sannyasi. No. I am the Gopi Bhartur Pada Kamalayar Dasa, Dasana Dasa. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of Gopinath, one who is maintaining the gopis. That is our real identity. So this is Ratha Yatra. Today in Puri it was going on, and also all over the world on this day they are also making. And pulling means this with love you should pull Jagannath towards Vrindavan. Baladev, Subhadra, in this order, Guru, devotion, and Jagannath. And also, when Lakshmi, after some time, she will come because her husband did not return in one day, as he said. Then she will come there very angry, and all the associates of Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu are watching. And then this discussion started. Srivas was singing the glories of devotion of Lakshmi. Then Svarup Damodar told him, "Oh Srivas, you forgot the opulence of Vrindavan, of the gopis, how their mood is there, how they are having that man, jealous, anger, and like this." And Svarup Damodar explained there about the glories of the gopis, of different types of gopis. You will find in that chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita we were hearing. So he was explaining, Mahaprabhu would always say, "Go on speaking, go on speaking, go on speaking." Svarup Damodar, he gave Mahaprabhu great satisfaction by answering in great detail. He was always able to please the Lord in every aspect because he knew his wishes so intimately. Then there was one simple devotee, Bhagavanacharya, a devotee, but his brother, younger brother, became Mayavadi, studying Vedanta there in Mayavad commentary in Varanasi. His father was materialist and his younger brother Mayavadi, but he was a devotee, nice devotee, and he had friendship with Svarup Damodar. So he said, "My brother came now here from Kashi, so you please hear him speak on Vedanta." Then Svarup Damodar said, "You lost your all intelligence in the association of your brother. Now you want us to hear Mayavad philosophy? If even a great devotee hears Mayavad philosophy, he will also lose this conception that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are his eternal servants." Then Bhagavanacharya said, "No, we are fixed devotees. That will not happen." Then Svarup Damodar said, "Yes, okay, but still no devotee wants to hear that Jiva is one with Krishna and Jiva is actually illusion and Krishna is also illusion. Mike, all this. So which devotee wants to hear this?" So this teaching they gave. Bhagavanacharya is only playing such pastime to give us this teaching that one should not hear Mayavad philosophy or accept that. And also there was he was the secretary of Mahaprabhu, Svarup Damodar. And it was his duty to check if someone brought some songs or some writings or something, to check whether Siddhanta was correct and there was no rasa abhas, improper mixing of sentiments. Otherwise, it would not be directly given to Mahaprabhu. Svarup Damodar had to check. So one poet came from Bengal and he wrote some song, and everyone, others, they liked, very nice song, but when it was, again Bhagavanacharya told, "You at least you read Svarup Damodar and see whether it is correct or not." Then it was not necessary to read much of that song. Already Svarup Damodar saw so much apasiddhanta there. Then he showed all those mistakes and he explained to that where he committed mistake, and that was some simple Brahmin poet. Then it is very important, this point, which Svarup Damodar Goswami then told him. "Jaho Bhagavat Poro Vaishnavero stane, ekanta ashray koro Chaitanya charane, Gauranger Bhakta Goner Nitya Koro Sangha, Tobe to Janiba Siddhanta Samudra Taranga." Svarup Damodar told him, "Go and hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a Vaishnava, realized soul. They can know what is the meaning of Bhagavatam through their surrender. And you take exclusive shelter, one pointed, in the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." and also you always associate with his devotees, then you will be able to understand what is Siddhanta, the waves of Siddhanta in the ocean of Siddhanta. Because Siddhanta is unlimited, reality is unlimited, so that is always new meaning is coming, it is revealed. So this came from Svarup Damodar, and when Sanatana Goswami came to Puri, he was also introduced to Svarup Damodar. And when Raghunath Das Goswami, he could finally escape from his house and he came to Puri, then when Mahaprabhu received him, he put him in the charge of Svarup Damodar. He told him, he will teach you, he is your Shiksha Guru, he will teach you about bhajan, everything. Then one day, anyway, Raghunath Das requested through Svarup Damodar that still he would like to hear some instructions from Mahaprabhu personally. So then Mahaprabhu told him, bhalo na khaibe ar bhalo na poribe. Gramya katana shunive kane, that verse. Don't hear any worldly village talk. He's together with this one, and then they separated, and who is again with whom he was before, like all this village talk. This, you should be aloof. You should not hear these things, and you should not speak those things. And you should not be very eager to wear nice clothes, simple clothes, and to eat very nice palatable food. No, simple, just for survival. And always you have to be free from desire for respect from others, and always you will have to give a due respect to all others, and always chant Harinam. And within your heart, in transcendental platform, internally you will serve Radha Krishna mentally, not this mind, material mind. That is that consciousness. According to Lila of Radha Krishna from your Swarup. That is Raga Marg, that you do. Then Mahaprabhu again told him, this is my instruction. You will come to know of all the details about this from Svarup Damodar. He knows more than me. I already gave you to him, so you stay under him. And he took his hand and put in the hand of Svarup Damodar Goswami. And when Haridas Thakur disappeared, Svarup Damodar was singing. And when Mahaprabhu came to beg for prasad in Jagannath temple, and he wanted to carry himself, then Svarup Damodar stopped him and he said, we will manage, we will arrange. And he was also distributing that prasad. And Mahaprabhu was constantly in separation from Krishna in the mood of Radharani, and he would not feel anything, and he was sleeping on some plantain bark, and sometimes blood was coming, it was very rough. So Jagadananda thought, I will make some mattress for him and pillow, and he made, but Mahaprabhu would not want to accept. Seeing, no, I am a sannyasi, I should sleep on the ground, but he wants me to become a sense enjoyer. So he did not accept. But Jagadananda was very dissatisfied and angry. Then Svarup Damodar managed, he put some old cloths of Mahaprabhu, and in them he stuffed some banana leaves, dried and made into some small pieces, and then he would make that some kind of bedding for Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu could accept that. So Svarup Damodar made this seva. And we heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the last 12 years, Mahaprabhu was mad. After Advaita Acharya wrote that letter, now everyone already got Krishna Prem. So as I am concerned, you are now free to do what you want. You fulfilled my desire to rescue all fallen souls, so that is done. Now you can do what you like. That time Mahaprabhu was not preaching anymore. At that time he only relished this Radha Bhav, and it was doubly increased. So that time he was staying in that Gambira in Puri. You can still see that room. And they were speaking Harikatha, Krishna Katha, Svarup Damodar, Ramananda and Mahaprabhu till midnight. Mahaprabhu would feel some ecstasy and Svarup Damodar would sing accordingly and Ramananda would give verses. Then they would, with great difficulty, they would persuade him to take some rest. Then Mahaprabhu was like taking rest, but he was loudly chanting Harinam, and they kept him locked under 3 doors from outside that room. But still, Mahaprabhu, because he is Supreme Lord, he came out somehow and they would not find him. Then one time they found him in Singhadwar, that Lion Gate entrance to Jagannath temple, and his body, all the joints were loosened. His body became very long. Then when they were searching Svarup Damodar along with other devotees, then when they saw him, then they started to sing the names of Krishna into the Lord's ear loudly until suddenly he jumped up. Mahaprabhu, his transcendental body returning to its normal condition, and shouted Hari Bol. When the Lord returned to normal consciousness, Svarup Damodar led him back to the Gambira. And at some other, because that time Mahaprabhu heard flute of Krishna and he ran after that flute. And one time he saw on the beach there are sand dunes, like mountain made of sand. He thought, oh, it is Govardhan, and he started to run there, and they could not catch him, and he fainted. Then when again they were chanting Harinam, then Mahaprabhu came to semi-external consciousness, not full samadhi, not full outside. So in that semi, he was explaining what he was saying. I was at Govardhan. I saw Krishna herding the cows and playing the flute. When they heard the flute, the gopis came running toward him. Srimati Radharani was there, and Krishna took her into a grotto, cave, in Govardhan. Then suddenly you all started to call me back here. Why did you do that? Just to bring me pain? The Lord began to cry, and the devotees, affected by his great distress at losing his vision, joined him in shedding tears. When he was crying, they were also crying. Like one time, Srila Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj, when he was in Slovenia, in the morning, he was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he started crying. And we all were crying, being influenced by his mood. No one could hold himself back. When he was crying, we all also had to cry, being influenced by that mood. It happened here. So here also, when Mahaprabhu lost that vision and he was crying, then all devotees also crying with him. And at another time, yes, again Mahaprabhu heard the sound of Krishna flute, even though, and he ran out of the Gambira, even though there were 3 doors bolted from the outside. This time he fell down amongst a herd of Tailangi cows to the south of the Lion's Gate. When Govinda heard no answer from the Lord despite calling for him, he informed Svarup Damodar of the situation. Then Svarup Damodar organized a search, and they finally found him there in the midst of some cows. They were smelling him, and they wanted to shoo them away, but they would not go because they were attracted by transcendental sweetness of Mahaprabhu. At that time, his body came inside, like Jagannath or like tortoise. Inside, then they were chanting Harinam. Then Mahaprabhu came and he told, "Where have you brought me? I had heard the sound of Krishna's flute, and I went to Vrindavan. I saw Krishna with the cattle playing his flute. Radharani understood his signal and came to the bower trysting place. I followed them there and felt ecstasy when hearing the sound of her tinkling ornaments and also the voices, laughter, and jocular words of the gopis. You forced me to come back here, and I can no longer hear their humorous conversations or the sound of their ornaments and flute." So all this he was experiencing within Mahaprabhu, the darshan of Lila, and this was from Manjari Swarup. Mahaprabhu showed here. Also sometimes they would request him, you pick some flowers, because here he saw Radharani coming to Krishna, and that Govardhan, and also here. So this is, he displayed Manjari Bhav. Sometimes in another, he was in Radharani Bhav. And that time, Svarup Damodar recognized the Lord's state and sang a verse from the Bhagavatam about gopis, saying about flute. We were hearing this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very deep topic. And as soon as the Lord heard this verse, he once again merged into the mood of the gopis and began to sing all the statements of the gopis made in separation from Krishna, known as Chitra Jalpa in Chaitanya Charitamrita last. And one time Mahaprabhu, he was wandering there in Aitota garden, that is near Gundicha. The Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj's mat is there, and Samadhi now also. That is Aitota, it is like Vrindavan. There Mahaprabhu was roaming, and then suddenly he heard the flute. And he, about Ras Lila, yes, he was thinking about Ras Lila, relishing songs. And he was going towards the sea, and then he saw like a blackish, then he thought it is Jamuna. Then he jumped inside, and then he was washed away towards Konark, sun god temple, and one fisherman caught him. He thought he's a big fish, but when getting touch of Mahaprabhu, he was infused with prema, and he became mad. And all devotees, they were searching everywhere, they could not find Mahaprabhu. Finally, when they heard this, fisherman was saying Hari Bol, Hari, chanting Krishna Nam, then they, also he had ecstatic transformation. Then Svarup Damodar explained to him, it is not a fish, it is our Lord. That person was thinking, I was possessed by some ghost. No. And he was mad like. Then Svarup Damodar said, yes, I'm exorcist also. I know some mantras. So I will rescue you from that ghost. And he spoke some mantras and slapped him a few times. It was okay, now okay, go. Then they took Mahaprabhu to Gambira. And Mahaprabhu came back. And he explained that I saw Rasa Lila. And after Rasa Lila also water sports in Jamuna, I saw everything. Then you brought me here. Then finally Mahaprabhu embraced and hold the neck of Svarup Damodar and their shoulders, he said, that verse is Horshe Prabhu Kochen Shuno Svarup Ramarai Kalo Nama Sankirtan Parama Upaye. O Svarup Damodar and Raya Ramananda, you please hear me. I mean, great bliss, he was telling. In this age of Kali, Nama Sankirtan, pure chanting of holy name, is the best means to attain ultimate goal of life, Krishna Prem. Then he would start to explain Shikastaka verses, and they were hearing. All Mahaprabhu would utter that verse, and then he would explain to them the meaning. We are hearing during Kartik, Je Rupe Loile Nam Prem Upajoy, Tahar Lakshan Shlok Shuno Svarup Ramarai. How to chant Harinam so that love will manifest. Then this Trinada Pisunichana verse came, and Mahaprabhu explained like a tree, tolerant, not asking for water, and even if someone loves, and more humble than a blade of grass, and no ego, and giving due respect to all, and everything he explained. So this was also in association of Svarup Damodar and Raya Ramananda. So on today's day, Ratha Yatra's day, Svarup Damodar disappeared from this world in Purushottam Dham. So I bow down to him. He is our Guru in Guru Parampara. I bow down to him and pray for his causeless mercy, for the service of his lotus feet and the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Ratha Yatra, we heard, one is general conception to rescue the fallen souls. Another is, this is internal meaning, when the gopis, they want to bring, especially Radharani, they want to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan, pulling that chariot which was actually meant to go to Dwarka, but they pulled here with their devotion. You cannot pull Krishna by physical strength. That was shown by Jagannath. If elephants came, soldiers, everyone came, but they could not move, because it was not Jagannath's desire. But when Mahaprabhu came in front, then suddenly Jagannath would move. So he's controlled by devotion of Radharani. So following Radharani, we have to serve in her shelter. Our Srila Bharati Maharaj said, when Krishna took the form of Narayan, then when other gopis they came, Krishna was remaining as Narayan, but only when Radharani came, he could not remain. So all those gopis who were following Radharani behind her, not those who were there in front already, but who were following Radharani, they also could get darshan of Krishna. So we should follow Radharani. Shri Svarup Damodar Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Tadya Tirubhaktiti Puja Mahamahotsav ki jai, Jai Shri Ratha Yatra Mahamahotsav ki jai. Mahotsavkari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Tomorrow we'll hear Gita.